Giridharadhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
So reading Bhagavad Gita, is it?
Yes.
Where? Any special place? Which verse?
Any special verse?
Anything?
Which chapter?
5.5?
5.29.
Oh, 5.29? That's the well-known verse, right? The peace formula.
Peace for
Yeah. Yeah, Bhaktaram Yagnata 5.29. You know that verse? Yeah? It's the last verse of the 5th chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudhiraya.
Tato Jayamudhiraya.
Nastaprayeshu Pabhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki.
So we're reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. And this is the last verse of the 5th chapter, number 29. Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Would you like to chant?
Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Suhritam Sarvabhutanam.
Suhritam Sarvabhutanam.
Mata Mam Shanti Richari.
Yadvamam Shantim Richati.
Yes? Chant? No?
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Surya Suridam Sarvabhutanam
Suridam Sarvabhutanam
Gyatva Ma Shantim Rachyati
Gyatva Mam Shantim Rachyati
भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां
Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam
सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
हृदं सर्वभूतानां
Suridam Sarvabhutanam
ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं रक्षति
Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachyati
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां
Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam
सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
सूरिदं सर्वभूतानां
Suridam Sarvabhutanam
ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं रक्षति
Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachyati
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां
Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam
सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां
Suridam Sarvabhutanam
ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं रक्षति
Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachyati
Anyone else?
भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां
Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam
सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां
Suridam Sarvabhutanam
ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं रक्षति
Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachyati
Like the chant? No. Bhoktaram,
Bhoktaram
the beneficiary,
The beneficiary
yagna,
Yajna
of sacrifice,
of
sacrifices
tapasam,
Tapasam
and penances,
and penances
and austerities,
and austerities
sarvaloka,
Sarvaloka
of all planets,
of all planets
and the demigods thereof,
and the demigods thereof
Maheshwaram,
Maheshwaram
the Supreme Lord,
the Supreme Lord
Suridam,
Suridam
the benefactor,
the benefactor
Sarva,
Sarva
of all,
of all
Bhutanam,
Bhutanam
the living entities,
the living entities
Gyatva,
Gyatva
thus knowing,
thus knowing
Mam,
Mam
me,
me
Lord Krishna,
Lord Krishna
Shantim,
Shantim
relief from material pain, Richati,
Richati
one achieved.
one achieves
Translation. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world. So Prabhupada he's talking about conditioned souls, right? There are two kinds of souls. There's liberated souls and conditioned souls. So we're conditioned souls. We're here in the material world. We're conditioned. We're conditioned to, to things like eating and sleeping. And we're conditioned to eat particular type of food and to just wake up at a certain time and sleep at a certain time. We're very conditioned. Some things make us happy, some things make us angry. It's all due to our conditioning. So we want to understand not everyone is conditioned. There are some liberated souls. But liberated souls are not here in this world so much. They're in the spiritual world. Or we would say Goloka, Golok, right? The spiritual world is the place where the liberated souls are living. Or sometimes we would say Vaikuntha, to liberate Kashmir, you know, these kind of things, political situations. So they talk about liberation. There was the People's Liberation Army in China. They had the People's Liberation Army. They fought for the liberation of China, to get it free from the ruler. There was a ruler, a political party ruling, and the communists wanted to take over. So the communists, they were the People's Liberation Army. So like that, liberated souls, they think freedom, liberation means freedom. But you don't get freedom so easily. People don't know what is real freedom. So Lord Krishna is explaining here something about how we can get peace. You know, we often hear Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, you know. People want peace, but they don't know what is real peace. We talk about peace, oh, we want peace. What does it mean to get peace? This verse here in the Bhagavad Gita, this is called the peace formula. Formula for peace, you know. Just like in mathematics and science, they have formulas. If you study these things, they will give you so many formulas. So here's a formula in the Bhagavad Gita for peace. We want to get peace. You can get peace. You have to know three things here described in this verse, right? We have to know, first of all, first thing we have to know is that there's a Maheshwar. There's a proprietor. Anybody called Maheshwar here? Any Maheshwaris? No? I was in Nasik a couple of years back. It was a couple of years back. I was in Nasik, and I mentioned something about Maheshwari, and then they said, many of us are Maheshwari. They were all, you know, that part, they were Maheshwari. So here also, the Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasham Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, right? Maheshwar. Maha Ishwara means the great controller. Ishwara is the supreme controller. Maha, great. So Maha Ishwar, one who owns everything, controls everything. He is Maheshwar. So Lord Krishna, he is like that. He is the actual Maheshwar, you know. We're not really Maheshwari, you know, we're tiny people. But Lord Krishna, he is Maha Ishwara, the supreme controller, supreme proprietor. It all belongs to him, right? Not what really belongs to us. You say, as you all say in Hindi, you know, Kali Hath Ayate?
Kali Hath
Yeah, no, we have nothing. We leave with nothing. But when we come into this world, we try to acquire. They say when the baby is born, the hand is closed. But when we die, you open the hand. You have to leave everything, let everything go. Leave everything. So Lord Krishna, he's the proprietor. It all belongs to him. It comes from him, and so it belongs to him. We didn't bring anything with us. It's all his. That we claim my country, my land. What is actually ours? Nothing is really ours. So Bhagavad Gita is teaching us that we shouldn't be so attached to these things, you know. We get very attached, very possessive. This is mine, this belongs to me. It's a problem. But this is actually ahankar when we're thinking like that. So that ahankar keeps us in the material world. This is our conditioning. We're trying to get free of that conditioning. So Lord Krishna, He's telling to Arjuna, and He's telling to all of us, by telling to Arjuna, He's teaching all of us, that actually everything belongs to Him. And because it belongs to Him, it's for His pleasure. Right? You get pleasure. This is your home. You get pleasure from your home. You have a car, you get pleasure from your car. You have a child, your child, you get pleasure from the child. You know? Nobody else gets pleasure from the child, but you get pleasure from the child. Your child. So the same way, everything belongs to Krishna, and because it all belongs to Him, it's for His enjoyment. So we have to remember these things. These two things very important. Everything belongs to Krishna, and everything is meant for His enjoyment. But there's one more thing which is very important to remember, and that is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, that He is the best friend of everyone. Right? In the course of our lives, we've had many friends. You know, when we were children in the kindergarten, you had friends. Then you go to school, you get different friends. Later on, you go to college, different friends. And then later on, you get married, different friends. You know, so many things change in the course of different friends come and go. But there's one friend who's always with us, right? And who is that friend?
Krishna.
Right, Krishna. Because He's in the heart. He's the super soul. He's with all of us. And so He's actually our best friend. In the heart of all of us, He's speaking to us. And He's telling us things, you know. But often we don't hear, we don't want to hear. But He's speaking to us, He's telling us what we should do, what we need to do. Lord Krishna is the Param Atma, we say. He is the Supreme Atma. We are Atmas, we are Jiva Atma, we're tiny Atmas. But there's a Param Atma, the Supreme Atma. Because He's in the heart, and He gives us, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes about the Paramatma, that the Paramatma is giving three things: knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Right, forgetfulness. So these three things, they come according to our desire. Because Krishna's in the heart, so He knows our heart. He knows what we want, what we desire. And Krishna arranges. Sometimes He will give us knowledge, sometimes He'll help us to forget, and sometimes He'll help us to remember. Because He understands our thinking, because He's next to us, He's sitting next to us in our heart. They give the example, the acharyas speak about two birds on a tree. Just like two birds are in the tree. And one bird is eating the fruit, and the other bird is watching. So like that, there are two Atmas. There's the Jiva Atma and the Param Atma. And the Jiva Atma is eating the fruit. And sometimes the fruit is nice, and sometimes it's bitter. Sometimes it's sour or whatever. But Paramatma, Krishna, He's sitting there and He's watching, He's seeing everything. So we want to understand our relationship with Krishna, how He's a very good friend to all of us. But we have to cooperate with him. We have to understand everything belongs to him. So just think, if you had a friend, maybe you're a friend of Mr. Ambani, right? You know, they're pretty big people, right? Rich people, you know. What was it? Ambani's son got married, and how much money did he spend for the wedding for his son? You know, millions and millions. And he brought artists from America and everything to perform for his son's wedding. So just imagine if you're a friend of some very rich person, you know, you feel, oh, very good, you know, I've got such a big, rich man, he's my friend. But we have Krishna for a friend. We should be appreciating how fortunate we are to have a friendship with Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna is much more special than Ambani or any of these other very rich billionaires, industrialists. You know, they're enjoying some karma. They have some karma, and so they're enjoying for a little while, but it's temporary. Just like there's the one man from America, he's the grandson of Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the man who pioneered motor car production, and he had the Ford Motor Company in America. And so his family is very rich. And his grandson, Henry Ford, as a young man, Henry Ford's grandson was called Alfred Ford. Alfred Ford. And as a young man, he was interested in yoga and meditation, and he got one of our books, and he became interested, and he met Prabhupada. He came and met Prabhupada, and he took initiation from Prabhupada. Prabhupada gave him the name Ambarish. From Alfred Ford, he became Ambarish Ford. Right? And he was a rich man, but he told devotees, he said, you know, money doesn't make you happy. And he told about his own mother. He said recently my mother died. Actually, when his mother died, he brought his mother's ashes, put them in the Ganga. And at that time he was telling devotees, he said, you know, people think money will make you happy. They're so they do everything to try to get money. But he said, I've seen money doesn't make you happy. He said, I saw my own mother. She had so much money, but she was not happy. So we have to understand happiness is something which it doesn't just come from money. Happiness is actually the nature of the soul. And similarly, peace. You can also be at peace if you have that consciousness, if you understand our spiritual identity. If we know ourselves as a soul, then we can be more peaceful. But if we're thinking, I'm the body, then it's hard to be peaceful. Because in the material body, we're always worried. You're worried about getting old, we're worried about disease, we worry about dying. But if we understand I'm a soul, then you don't have to worry about these things. Because for the soul, there's no death. The soul doesn't get old. It doesn't die. And the nature of the soul is Satchit Anand, eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. So Krishna consciousness is to help us to remember, to come to the higher platform, to the spiritual platform, knowing ourselves as a soul. And when we chant Hare Krishna, you can experience the spiritual energy. It awakens by chanting Hare Krishna. So this is why we encourage everyone, chant the holy name, do your chanting. And it's a very good way to begin the day. Prabhupada writes, we were reading last night, we were studying a book called Upadesh Amrita. Have you read it? Nectar of Instruction? No? And it's just a small book. And in the book anyway, Prabhupada was saying how we like devotees to wake up by 4 o'clock in the morning. And people may think, oh, 4 o'clock? Oh my. I go to sleep at 4 o'clock. You want me to get up at 4 o'clock? What am I going to do at 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, what we do at 4 o'clock in the morning, we chant Hare Krishna mantra. Actually, in the practice of yoga, the morning hours are very important, very valuable, very good time, because it's peaceful. Especially when you have children. You know, children can sleep in the morning. That's a good time for you to do chanting and to, to have to yourself. You have time for yourself. During the day, you got to take care of children all the time. It's not so easy. But if the child's asleep, then that's a good time. You can be free, liberated, right? So that morning period of time, that is called Brahma Muhurta, the time of Brahman. It's a spiritual time. So in all the yoga ashrams, they will all wake up earlier in the morning and they'll do the meditation. Just like if you go to the Holy Land, if you go to a place like Vrindavan or Ayodhya or Dwarka, or we have also Mayapur, if you go to one of these holy places, you'll see the temples open early in the morning. And they have what is called Mangal Arti. So Srila Prabhupada went to the West and he began to make temples in different cities, and instructed the devotees also to put the deity and how to worship the deity. Just like you can see the picture of these deities, Radha and Krishna. So devotees will worship the deity. They will change the dress every day and change the flowers, put fresh flowers every day. Not only do they dress and put flowers, but they also cook for the deities. And we encourage devotees also. In your home, like this, you have an altar, and when we cook, we offer it on the altar. We offer it just by, and in this way we're offering the food to Krishna, and that takes away the karma. It takes away the karma from the food, and the food becomes prasadam in that way, because it's been offered to Krishna. So we're taking the prasadam of Lord Krishna. So devotees, we have that habit that whatever we cook, we will offer it to Krishna. And even we didn't cook it, if we have fruit, or you have something, even your ice cream or something, whatever you have, offer it to Krishna, you see? And that way it becomes free of karma. So we have a karma-free diet. We want to get free of karma. Karma keeps you in the material world. So you have some good karma, maybe you have some good karma. You're here in Dubai, right? You're here in Dubai. Is this Discovery Garden?
Yes.
Right? You're here in Discovery Garden, a nice place. And so you have some good karma. But you have some bad karma also. Huh? What's the bad karma? Material body. Right? We're here, but we cannot stay here forever. We come here for some time, but we get old, we get disease, we'll have to give up the body one day. And we have to understand the body is just like the dress, right? In the Bhagavad Gita, what does Lord Krishna say about the dress? How does he compare it?
Keep changing. Keep changing.
Yeah, right. You get new dresses, you get new clothes, and you give up the old cloth, you put on the new cloth. The same way the body, death is simply the change of body. We give up one body, we take another body. So death is not something to be afraid of or to lament. It's just a part of nature of the material world, that it happens. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna described one who has taken birth, they will die. We have to die because we took birth. Why did we take birth? Because karma. Yeah, we had some karma, right? And the place where we took birth, the family we were born in, everything, our karma. It's all karma. And where did that karma come from? Previous life. Yeah, previous life. We've had many births. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna the history of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna said, I told this knowledge of yoga to the sun god. And Arjuna was thinking, what? Arjuna he said to Krishna, how could you tell the knowledge to the sun god? He said, you and I are the same age. The sun god is so much senior in age than us. How could you give the knowledge to him? But Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, he said, we've had many births. I can remember them, you cannot. Right? We don't remember. So we take birth. And if we were liberated, if our souls were liberated, then the soul would go to the spiritual world, to that, the unlimited spiritual world. Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means no anxiety. But this world here, anxiety. Lot of anxiety. Because we have the body, the dress. And the body is changing from the child. The child takes birth, becomes a young baby, young child, begins to grow, grows into the teenager, then goes on growing, becomes fully grown, and then we go into married life, have children and so on, and then gradually get old, and one day give up the body. You change the body. So this is the nature of the material body. It's temporary. We identify with the body. We're thinking, this is me, right? And we senses.
Smell, touch.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes, touch.
Yes, right. The eyes, the ears, the nose, touch. Yeah, 5 senses. So we want to enjoy the senses. The senses, the tongue is saying, I want to taste something nice. Give me the nice curry, or the ice cream, or the coffee.
Gulab
Right, we're saying like the tongue is saying, I want this, and then the ears are saying, I want to hear the nice sounds. I want to hear the nice music. And the nose is saying, no, I want to smell the nice aroma. I want the nice perfume, the nice water, the nice fragrant smell. And the nose wants to enjoy also. And the eyes want to see something very beautiful, very pleasing. And the skin, we like to touch something. Should be very nice, soft and pleasing to the skin. So each of the senses is demanding attention. And they're pulling us. Just like you have 5 husbands, right? like Draupadi, Panchali. If you were Panchali, 5 husbands. One husband saying, I want to go there. The other husband, no, I'm going there. Very difficult, right? Just to take care of one husband is difficult. But 5 husbands, how much more difficult? So, the body is like that. 5 senses, very difficult. We have to be careful. Try to overcome the urge of the senses. But this is yoga, controlling the mind and the senses. And which is the most difficult sense to control?
Eyes.
Tongue. Tongue is the most difficult. Yeah, eyes, we can close the eyes. But the tongue is very active, wants a lot of and what does the tongue like to do?
Eat and talk.
Yeah. Eating and talking, right? When we're not eating, then we're talking. And when we're talking, then we can't eat. So these 2 activities, they have to be dovetailed, they have to be connected to Krishna's service. So we use the tongue to chant. We have nice songs about Lord Krishna. We sing also, we chant His holy name, sing the songs. And we also eat nice food. We like to take the prasad of Lord Krishna, prasad. It's quite different from impersonalism, or, if you go to the Jnana yogis, the Brahmavadis, they will say, don't see anything. They say, don't see. They think that is controlling the senses. You don't see anything, don't hear anything, don't speak anything. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Like that. They think that is control. Like some people like to do monavrat. Did you ever try monavrat? But some people, they like to do that, monavrat. And one man I knew, he was doing it every Sunday. Every Sunday you do monavrat. Monday, wow, speak, so much. Monday, go to office, But Sunday, monavrat. Give the tongue a rest. So some people, they do monavrat for many years. I was traveling in India, it's quite a long time ago now. I was traveling in India and we were distributing Prabhupada's books, this Bhagavad Gita. We had some books. And we had a vehicle, we had a Matador van, and we were traveling in India. I was with another devotee. And what happens was we saw there was this mountain, and halfway up the mountain there was a cave, and you could see there was a temple there. So we thought, we have time, let's go and see, let's go and check it out, let's see who's in there. So we went over there to the place, and we went into the temple, and there was one Babaji there, one sadhu was there, and he saw us, he went, so we, he's doing monavrat, we could understand monavrat. So we started preaching to him. He couldn't preach to us, right? So we were talking to him, we were telling him, we've come from Europe, I'm from England, and this like that, and we're traveling around India, and we brought books, and we're distributing this Bhagavad Gita, and we showed him the Bhagavad Gita, and we said, this is our guru, he wrote this book, and we said, would you like to get a copy? So he had a board with chalk, he wrote, how much is it? And we sold him a book. Yeah. So although he wasn't speaking, but still the mind was active, the mind was still busy. So just saying monavrat, that's not really the solution. But if we use the tongue for something, for a spiritual activity, to serve Krishna, then that you're not going to get any karma for that. You see, that's the point. Other talkings, you get karma, you get involved with the material world. But if we use the tongue to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and to read the Bhagavad Gita and talk about Krishna and Bhakti Yoga, no karma. Right? So that's a good thing. But using the tongue for Krishna service. You eat Krishna prasadam, you don't get karma. What do you get?
Akarma.
Akarma. Akarma means no karma. So do you get anything if you eat prasadam?
Mercy. Mercy.
You get mercy? Yeah, we get purified, right? We get purified. It brings us closer to Krishna. We eat the food offered to Krishna. It brings us out of the material energy. So we can use the tongue to chant and to take prasadam. And we use our body, try to use the senses, all the senses, in the service of Krishna. There was a great devotee called Maharaj Ambarish, and he was living at it was near Govardhan Hill. There's one place there where he was living there. Anyway, the Ambarish Maharaj, he was a great devotee. Although he was the king, he would spend the whole day in the temple. He liked to be see the deities. So that is a good use of the eyes. We want to see something beautiful, can see the deity. Look in the mirror, oh no, feel disappointed, right? At least I do, look in the mirror, oh yeah. But anyway, like that, if we see Krishna, we say, oh beautiful, so nice. We appreciate transcendental beauty in the form of the deities. And we see also the aroma, smell the flowers offered to Krishna, the prasadam, it's also prasad. So that is good use of the senses. We use our hands to serve Krishna, to cut the vegetables, to clean the temple. And we use our legs to walk, to go to temple, and to go to holy places. So we can use all the different senses for the service of Krishna. So this way, when you're serving Krishna, you feel peace. You don't feel any anxiety or any tension. You feel satisfied, you feel happy. So this way, Lord Krishna is telling us the peace formula. You just have to remember those three things. Do you remember now? What are the three things? One is?
He's the enjoyer.
Huh?
Enjoyer, proprietor.
Who is the proprietor?
Lord Krishna is the proprietor.
Yes, so he's the proprietor. Then second thing?
It is everything for his pleasure only.
Yeah, he is the enjoyer. Right? He's the enjoyer. And what's the third thing?
Well-wisher.
Huh?
He's also a
Friend.
well-wisher. Friend.
Friend.
What friend? The very best
Best
friend. Right, the best friend. Not just a friend, but the very best friend. Right, there are many words in Hindi for friend, right? Doshtan, Mitra, Bandhu. But this is Suridam Sarvabhutanam, the best friend of all living entities. So a very dear friend. So we have to remember this thing, and then we'll be peaceful. We'll be free from the anxiety. Whatever happens, when things go bad for us, what should we think? If things are going very bad, we should think, I deserve to suffer more, but Krishna is only giving me a little suffering. And when things are going really good, and you're really successful, what should we think? Krishna is
Krishna's mercy.
Krishna's encouraging me. Yeah. I don't deserve all this, but Krishna's just trying to encourage me. In this way, a devotee sees everything in relation to Krishna. So we remain peaceful in every situation. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Sometimes things go well and sometimes they don't. But we just tolerate and go on chanting Hare Krishna, serving Krishna. Okay, any question? Anyone?
Krishna Maharaj, I would like to ask one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, when we understand that in a material world, most of our senses in a working environment gets engaged into material activities, working for a company, talking to any person who's fully conditioned by material environment, then his influence also somewhere, Maya also contaminates us when we engage with them. But okay, as far as work is concerned, we can get into the mindset that this is also one of a karma yoga. But when we talk to others who are not well advanced in their spiritual or in their understanding or in their consciousness, they inflict some contamination in us. How do we protect ourselves from that contamination? Because in day in, day out, we speak with so many people. We speak with managers, we speak with customers, we speak with colleagues in a working environment. How do we protect us from that?
We have to protect ourselves by daily practice of bhakti yoga. Just like a doctor has to treat so many sick people, but they have to be very careful they don't get infected, right? How does the doctor protect himself, They're very careful when they come, you see gloves and the mask and everything. They're careful, they don't want to get infected from other people. So the same way, devotee will protect themselves by taking advantage of bhakti yoga, chanting. You want to start the day by chanting the Maha Mantra. You see, you do some japa, that protects you. If you chant the holy name, that helps, it gives you spiritual protection from all that material energy. So this is how we have to, and because we eat food also like prasada, we don't just eat any and everywhere, but we're careful what we eat. We want to eat food which, you may say, oh, I have to eat with people, they're my guests, I should eat with them. No, you just tell them frankly, I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat this. And Prabhupada explains, he said, when it comes to dressing, we dress to please others. You think about where you're going, who you're meeting, and you dress according to the occasion. Right? If you're going to a wedding or some function, you dress up nicely for it. So like that. But when it comes to eating, it's up to our own self as an individual. What do you want to eat? And what do you not want? And we should be very careful about what we eat, because food, the disease comes from the mouth. The food you put in the mouth, it's very easy to give us problems. We get health problems, disease. A lot of it comes from food, the eating habits which we have, irregular habits. So like that, we have to protect ourselves from that. The enemy, what is the enemy? Is the lust. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking to Lord Krishna, he said, why are we doing sinful activities? He said, even unwilling, didn't want to do it, but something forces us to do sinful things. And Lord Krishna said, this is the lust. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajaguna samudbhava. Right? The rajagun, that passion, desire for enjoyment, that lust is there. So we have to conquer over that lust by spiritual strength. And you get spiritual strength to overcome these things by regularly chanting Hare Krishna mantra and reading Bhagavad Gita, worshipping Krishna. These things, they give you spiritual strength. Again, controlling our tongue, be careful what you eat. Like, you want to eat food which is cooked by devotees, which you know has been prepared nicely. You go to some restaurants, you know, they may say vegetarian, but still there'll be onion and garlic, so many. And you don't know the people working in the restaurant, you don't know about their habits. Are they vegetarian? They may just be working there, you know, may not be vegetarian. So it's always better to take advantage of home cooking. It's better than eating outside. Better you can. These things, it seems like a lot of trouble, but it protects us a lot. You want to protect yourself from like outside forces, from all of these. This is how you do it. You be careful about where you eat and what you eat. Be careful about where you go and what things you do. It will give you spiritual strength. It will protect you from all the bad things around you. Yeah? So devotee, we practice bhakti yoga, we do like that. You know, we have a regular program. I was saying Prabhupada liked us to wake up early in the morning. You know, if you can do it, you know, if you can get up earlier in the morning, it makes your spiritual practice very powerful. The good time of the day to do chanting and to hear from scriptures will give you that strength to overcome all the obstacles. All the evil forces, they can all be removed just by devotion. Some people worship Lord Ganesh to overcome obstacles. But we worship Lord Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev, he gives the power to Ganesh to remove the obstacles. And we chant that prayer also. You know that prayer? Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Purvakshaha Shanyakashi Purvakshaha Shrivatankanakalaye Shrivatankanakalaye Ito Nasimha Parato Nasimha Ito Nasimha Parato Nasimha Yato yato yamitato nasimha Yato yato yamitato nasimha Vade nasimha hridaye nasimha Vade nasimha hridaye nasimha Narasimha madin sharanam prapati Narasimha madin sharanam prapati Kalavakaya kamalabhare Anodashimha Tadika hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Yeshavadita narahari rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Narasimhadev 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 Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Jagat Maharaj Srila Prabhupada taught us to sing this prayer. He said it will help us to protect us from dangers in the material world and from all the inauspicious things. Will protect the devotees. So prayer is very important also to protect ourselves. Yes?
When we are around the people, they do something bad to us. There are people who do, anything bad. Or I just generally be quiet. I say it's okay. Let Krishna take care of it. Is it ego or is it faith?
I mean, is what they're doing to you, is it ego?
They are doing to me, but then I do not like to reply them back. I usually keep quiet, thinking that okay, Krishna will take care of it.
Yeah.
That's ego or that's faith? From me.
From you?
From thinking that Krishna will take care.
Well, I think it's your good sense. I think it's a sensible thing to do, to just leave it. You know, they say, some people say, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, you did this to me, I'll get back at you. So there's no end to it. You see, it goes on, continues, So that's not good. So certainly, we just want to tolerate. We should think if somebody's doing something wrong to us, we should think, I must have done something wrong to them in the past. And now it's coming back at me, So we can think of it like that. We don't know, but we can think like that. And we are encouraged to be tolerant. We should be tolerant. And we have to tolerate these different situations. We should be, Lord Chaitanya says, be tolerant like the tree. So that's important for us. Being tolerant, trying to control the ego, right? The false ego. Our ego can be very strong. So what should be the real ego? The real ego, remember, what is the size of the soul? Do you remember? What's the dimension of the soul?
1/10.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the 1/10,000th of the tip of the hair. So our ego should be according to our spiritual dimension. Right? But we're very small. Lord Chaitanya said we should think of ourselves lower than the straw in the street. We should, in other words, our spiritual dimension is very, very small. But because of false ego, we're thinking, no, I'm big, I'm a big person. We're thinking in terms of the body. That's the false ego. But the true ego is to understand our spiritual dimension. And spiritually, we're all servants of Krishna. So when we think in that way, then we'll give up the false ego and we'll be more tolerant. And that will help us to overcome all the obstacles. But if we get angry and try to get revenge and all, it will go on continually, there'll be no end. There'll be one war after another. There's no end to it. So it's definitely better to just tolerate and not to do anything. You think, I must have done something to them. Maybe now they're getting back at me. Just tolerate it. I think that's a bit, what you're doing is good, it's the right way. If we don't know why they're doing it, we can't understand their thinking, but we just accept it, okay. And we could think also, maybe Krishna's testing me. Like Krishna's testing me. He wants to see how tolerant I am. And Krishna sometimes does test. He does test us. But these tests are to help us to progress more. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Bas.
Wait.